everybody, Mike Familant here with In the Shadow of Big Red Eyes Squatchables, your one-stop shop place to learn everything you need to know about Bigfooting if you're just getting into it. Bigfooting, hiking, camping, anything you have any questions of or anything like that, go ahead and watch the episodes. It's a really great show if you're just getting into Bigfooting. Anyway, I'm coming at you today from my bedroom because it is really, really cold outside. And I don't feel like dealing with that today. Anyways, today's episode, we're going to be going over some pretty interesting stuff. Some of the aspects of the Paredolia type thing. Also, we're going to go into some myths about what Bigfoot actually is. And then we're going to get into some questions regarding, some common questions regarding Bigfooting. I'm just pulling up on my computer now some of the images that I'm going to put up on the screen now. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the Pareidolia. I'm looking at some of these pictures here. There's some definitely red flags when it comes to people posting images on the internet, and I've seen quite a few of them. And you really have to take all these with a grain of salt. A couple of red flags when you're looking at images. You'll notice a lot of images of reported Bigfoots are blurry and pixelized and zoomed in. That's going to be your first red flag. If they're blurry, then it's not evidence. And if they're pixelized, if they're zoomed in way too much, you have to wonder, well, where did that come from? I want to see the whole picture. I want to see series of pictures, and I want to make my own determination by zooming in myself and being able to have the tools to enhance the image myself instead of them doing it for me, because that will make me feel a lot better that it wasn't altered in any sort of way. People always say, like, well, why are there no clear pictures of Bigfoot? Well, the average Bigfoot sighting lasts 1 to 3 seconds on average. So if you think about it, you have to pull out your camera, get your camera on your phone if you're using your phone, and then click the picture, and all that being steady and focused at the same time. So that could be a reason why some of the images of Bigfoot are blurry. However, you really, like I said, you really have to look at these very closely to determine that. And that's also another reason, well, we're going to get into that in a second. Okay, so another red flag is if someone on the photo itself or in the comments has to describe what the Bigfoot or what the subject of the photo is. If you can't see it clear, then it shouldn't be posted at all. There's no reason why you would post some pictures that have to be captioned to know what you're looking at. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's not evidence whatsoever. That's garbage, to be honest. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody, but it's true. The other thing that's another red flag to look for is circles. Red circles, yellow circles. If you have to, again, same kind of concept. If you have to circle what you're looking at, don't even post it. It's not evidence. You're just going to get ridiculed online, and then you're going to have a bitter taste in your mouth about everybody in Bigfooting that has ever said anything to you, and then it's not even worth it. Keep it for yourself if you really think it's something. If it's a cool picture or whatever, keep it for yourself. It's not evidence. That's not what we're going for when we go out and look and research seriously Bigfoot. I've taken blurry photos of what I think is a Bigfoot too, and guess what? Nobody has ever seen them, because I myself know what I'm looking at, but nobody else does. So yeah, I have pictures of what I think is a Bigfoot, but I'm not going to post them because they're blurry. You have to zoom in. It's going to be pixelized. It's not worth it. There's another group online that I'm not gonna name, but these photos that I'm putting up now, were taken from their page, and they call themselves a research group. And I will say that this particular group, what they'll do is they'll videotape their wherever, if they're driving, they'll put the camera out the window and drive, or if they are walking around the woods, they'll just have the camera rolling the whole time, and then what they'll do is they'll go home, analyze it, and then if they think they see something, which it turns out about 100% of the time not to be anything, they will take a picture with their cell phone of the screen, which if you've ever tried to do that before, you know it doesn't work out too well. And then they'll zoom in really far on it, so it's pixelized, it's a picture of a computer screen. I want to see the actual video. I want to make a determination for myself of what that is. And they just continuously do this, and it's a shame, because this is the evidence that outside people see, people that are not into Bigfooting, that this is what they have to go on. And if they see these blurry, circled, pixelized images of computer screens that may or probably are not something, that's why us as a research group get looked down upon, is because of all the crap evidence that people post out there, and they say that it's real and true. That's why people think we're crazy. It's a not a lot of people, because a lot of researchers are very they don't post the crap, so they don't get recognized for posting crap. But the people that do, it seems to group us as a whole bunch of crazy people that are under one umbrella, and unfortunately that's not accurate. A lot of us, a majority of us, are actually in here and doing this for field research, and that's, I stress the word research, is because that's what we're actively doing. Another thing I wanted to talk about is kind of like myths, not even myths, but different philosophies when it comes to what Bigfoot actually is. I'll get into that in a second, but some people believe that Bigfoot are related to UFOs and aliens. Some people think they are aliens. And let me preface this by saying that I respect anybody that has an opinion on the subject. If you don't have an opinion, and you're looking to get into Bigfooting, try doing some research and think about how you want to philosophize this thing, this whole Bigfoot mystery as. Like I said, some people go at it like they are aliens and UFOs, and there's a connection between them. Some people believe that they can shapeshift and go into different creatures. Some people believe that they're interdimensional and they use portals to travel in and out of reality and our dimension, if you will. Now, again, I don't have any negative opinions on this. If you have an opinion, my only thing that I look for when I talk to somebody that shares different opinions as mine is, if you can back it up, I will take that at face value, and I can respect that. If you can't back up your opinion about what you philosophize this creature to be, then I don't have any time to talk to you. I'm sorry, and I don't mean that to sound rude, but if you think that Bigfoots can shapeshift and go interdimensional into one dimension and out of our reality into a different one, which a lot of people do, then tell me why and show me evidence why. I think, and going to our first common question, the question that I get the most, is what is Bigfoot? For me, Bigfoot is a large, undiscovered, undocumented, bipedal hominid primate living in North America. That is my definition of what a Bigfoot is. And I think that because of certain reasons. I think it's an actual creature. I think it's something that you can reach out and touch. I think it's if, for example, most Native American tribes in North America have a story of a Bigfoot or Sasquatch-like creature. And what really gets me is that these stories are not, they've been passed down obviously from generations to generations, but they don't put a Bigfoot on a different level than other animals. So they'll be talking about the bear and the eagle and the Bigfoot and the chipmunk. Everything is on the same level. It's not a myth. It's not put up on a mythical level, which I think is super, super interesting, because they do have a lot of stories about mythical creatures and about myths and mythology and religion and spiritual aspects of their culture that have those integrated into them, but Sasquatch is never one of them. Bigfoot is always on the same level as another animal, and they know better than anybody else because they lived out here before all this urbanization and before the population growth and before everything. They lived alongside of these creatures, so I think that they would have a very good idea what they're talking about. The second most common question that I get are, where are the bodies? Well, that's a very good question, and one that I can answer pretty simply. Bigfoot seem to live in an environment that's very wet, and if you look at the acidity of the soil, it's a high acid value soil that they live in, which decomposes bodies very quickly, extremely quickly. It takes from death to full decomposition, bones and everything, 3 weeks, about, give or take. So that means you got to be at the right place at the right time to find one of these bodies. Now there are things that say people they bury their bodies. They could, I don't know. But we'll even take it a step further and say we do have scavengers too, turkey vultures, scavengers that'll come in and decompose the body even quicker than the soil just will. We also have a lot of porcupine, and if you're in an area that has Bigfoot and porcupine, they will eat the bone marrow out of the bones, and they'll in return eat the bones too. So that's going to be done rather quick. So again, right place, right time. I like to tell people, especially people that have been in the woods a long time, and have been hunting their whole lives and stuff like that, and who are very skeptical about Bigfoot. A lot of times, I know, especially here in Sussex County, we have the highest density of black bear population in the Northeast here. We know they're here, they're documented here, there's a lot of them here. So I would tell and challenge anybody that says, where are the bodies, go into the woods and find a carcass of a bear. Find me a bear skull, find me anything that is related to a dead bear. 95 out of 100 times, everybody that's been in the woods their entire lives has never found a bear carcass. Makes you wonder, you know, and we know they're there, and there's a lot of them here. Think about the population of Bigfoot. Take an intelligent animal who I think they know, they have an impending sense of doom, just like other animals do in the animal kingdom. They know that they're going to die, so they're going to go somewhere safe and far away from everything else, and they're going to hide and die in peace, just like your household cat or dog would. They go into a little corner under something and die in peace. That's what I think Bigfoots do too. They have this impending sense of doom. They know they're going to die, and they're going to go in the middle of God-forsaken nowhere. Plus the acidity in the soil, plus the scavengers, it's very unlikely that you're going to come across a body. Another good question is, how come there's no evidence? Well, that's completely inaccurate, because there is a ton of evidence. We'll take the thing that got a lot of people into Bigfooting, especially the older generation of Bigfooters, the 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film, filmed in Bluff Creek, California. It's a debated thing among the Bigfoot community, whether it's real or fake. I'm not going to throw my opinion out there because it's just my opinion, and you need to make your own opinion, especially if you're getting into Bigfooting. Check out the video; it's very interesting. There's a ton of documentaries on it, a ton of things going. I mean, they break down this video to the frame. It's very, very interesting. That's a good, solid piece of evidence, I think. Upon that, there's thousands of Bigfoot tracks that have been found and casted and analyzed by doctors in the field. Dr. Jeff Meldrum is an expert on Bigfoot casts and Bigfoot tracks. He can take a look at your cast or your photo and determine exactly what it is, whether it's a hoax, a person, a bear, a misidentification, anything like that. He could, I mean, to the T. He digitally scans them and analyzes them on a computer. It's very, very intensive. Oh, another question that I get, if there's so much of this evidence out there, why haven't they been classified as a species? Well, unfortunately, and this goes against all my philosophy, is science needs a body to be able to classify that as an official species. So without a body, you're not going to get any evidence. We already talked about how hard it is to find a dead Bigfoot. Now, there are groups out there that are pro-kill. Everything I do is anti-kill. I just want to learn more about them. I don't want to kill one. I don't want to get recognized for killing one. I don't want anything to do with a dead, killed Bigfoot. And that's not what our group is about. That's not what a lot of people like to do. But some groups are, and some groups are pro-kill, and unfortunately that's going to be the only way that science will be able to classify these as species. But let's think about it. If this is, and when the Bigfoot is classified as a species, it is going to be the biggest scientific discovery in our lifetime. 100% hands down. And let that set in for a second. Like, there's going to be laws, rules, regulations. There's going to be protection because endangered species. There's going to be a mass panic. There's going to be people in the woods with guns shooting at everything. It's going to be, it's going to happen if and when it does. But is that for the best for the creature? I don't know. I don't know. Yes, they'll get protection. But I'm concerned that they'll become a trophy hunt, and everybody is going to be in the woods shooting at anything that looks like a person, and that's going to cause some issues, I think. And that leads me to my next question: is what would you suggest to people that are looking to get into this subject? My first suggestion would be to research as much as you can about it. See if this is really for you. If you have a passion and an interest in it, then we can work on that. If you don't, if you just kind of want to, get outside and do stuff, then I mean, there's plenty of other things you could do. There's hiking, camping, just recreational camping. There's survivalist stuff, fishing. But if you do want to get into bigfooting, I think it's really cool. My second suggestion would be go ahead and go on social media and search your state and Bigfoot and see what pops up. On Facebook, I know there's a ton of groups and a bunch of great people that will point you in the right direction of getting in contact with someone local. I know a lot of people in the Bigfoot community. If you are having trouble finding somebody or anything like that, go ahead and send me a private message. Send it to the Facebook page, In the Shadow of Big Red Eye, and I can see what I can do to get you connected with somebody. Leads me to my next point, though, is don't, if you say you find somebody that is willing to take you out on an expedition or on a day hike or something like that, don't do it automatically. You need to be safe and be smart about this, because quite frankly, you're going to be going into the middle of the woods with somebody that you met online. You want to get their phone number and call them multiple times before you meet up with them. Make sure you're on the same page with your philosophies, whether they're pro-kill, anti-kill, what they think they are, their philosophies behind bigfooting, and behind what Bigfoots are. Make sure you're on the same page with that, because if you're not, you could have some clashing of thoughts, and that's not good when you're out in the middle of the woods. And keep in mind, everybody's going to have a weapon with them. It is the middle of the woods. They need protection. They need self-protection. So after you talk to them on the phone and find out that they're really cool and share the same ideas, then meet up with them in public for a few times. Go to a diner, get a coffee, and just talk Bigfoot for a while. Really feel these people out, because, like I said, your safety is number one. Once you do that and you feel comfortable, make sure that you trust them. That is the biggest thing, is trust. I do not bring anybody out in the woods that I'm camping with that I don't trust in a survival situation to save or to keep me alive in a survival situation. I don't do it. It's not fair to me if something like that happens and I can't depend on the person I'm with. I have, for my private group and for the show, we have a very intensive application process, if you will, and an interview process. I go over pages of questions. You look at their background. If you search on Google the county that they live in and sheriff's records, you can go in and see if they've been arrested for anything, what they've been charged with. Definitely do all your due diligent research. Think of it as you are the father of your 16-year-old daughter that is going on a date with like a 22-year-old. That's the kind of in-depth research that you want to get with this kind of person. Also, when you go out, tell somebody where you are. Make sure that you have cell phone service the first couple hikes that you go on to. Leave your itinerary, what time you'll be back with. Get the vehicle information of the other person, and leave that with somebody that you trust. Get their address. Everything that you can possibly do to help prevent a terrible situation you want to do. And that kind of leads me to like the last question, and a question I don't get too often, but I think it's very important. Are Bigfoot dangerous? And I always get caught up with that because I don't know if they are or not. I think that they have the potential to be dangerous. I know there's no reported attacks on humans from a Bigfoot. And I say reported, and I stress that because there could be situations that were not reported to anybody that people got attacked by a Bigfoot. Now, with that in mind, I think they are very territorial, and if you come too close to them, endanger them or their family group, I think they will, just like any other animal or person, they're going to put up some resistance to make sure that you don't harm them or their family. So I don't think it's out of the question that they could hurt somebody. But I think it doesn't even get to that point. There's not a lot of close encounters with people and Bigfoot, like really close. And if there are, it's just that they stare at you for a second and then walk away. And you're frozen. You have that like frozen, like what the. But that's not to say also they intimidate people. They know when people are getting close to their family group. They know if you're in the woods. They know if you're by where they're staying at that certain time. And they're going to intimidate. That's how I got into Bigfooting. I got rocks thrown at me. They didn't hit me. They landed close, but they didn't hit. And they were all very, very accurate, thrown from a very far distance. But that's more intimidation than it is aggression. They want you out of their area. They don't want to deal with you. They want to go hunting. They want to sleep. They want to do whatever the Bigfoots do without having to watch you because they want to know where you are. They're curious creatures. They want to know what you're doing, but at the same time, they don't want to be found. They're smart. They're intelligent. And that goes the same thing with aggressive tree breaks and snaps and footfalls. They're trying to intimidate you. They know that it works to scare people. They'll yell. They'll growl. That's all intimidation to get you out of the area. And I used to get really scared when that kind of stuff happened to me. Now I think it's awesome because that means they're close and we're close to them, more importantly. Anyway, that about wraps up this episode. Again, please like our Facebook page, In the Shadow of Big Red Eye, our Instagram, Shadow of Red Eye, all one word, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel. That way you don't miss anything that we post, any updates, anything like that. We do some behind-the-scenes things over on Facebook. We'll go live here every once in a while. On YouTube, it's really great. Please subscribe. I appreciate every subscriber that I have. Also, if you guys have any questions that I didn't answer or that may have spurred another question, or you have any burning desires that you want to, ask, go ahead and if you want to shoot our Facebook page a private message, and go ahead and do that. You can post it down below on the comments on this video. Or you could post it, on a post over on our In the Shadow page. As always, again, my name is Mike Familant for In the Shadow of Big Red Eye and Squatchables. As always, keep it squatchy, and I hope you all have a wonderful night.